chat with our next management. Karnataka Bank, we're talking about that one. Some announcement came in that where they highlighted they've surpassed 1.1 lakh crore turnover as on March 31st, 2018. And they've also set some targets going into FY19 where they expect the total turnover to be about 1.3 lakh crore. Let's get more details. How do they plan to achieve all of this? We're joined by the MD and CEO of the bank, Mr. Mahabaleshwara. MS. Hi sir, good afternoon and thanks a lot for joining us today on Bloomberg Quint. Well, 1.3 lakh crore is the total turnover that you're targeting for FY19, and I guess out of that you're looking at deposits of 72,000, advances of 58,000 crore. Could you just take us through what are the chances that you could exceed this target going into FY19, and also which are the areas that will contribute the most?
Yeah, FY18 to begin with was definitely a challenging year for the entire banking industry, but it gives me immense satisfaction to note that we could outperform as far as the growth is concerned. And the growth figures, the provisional figures, whatever that I have, so during the FY18, we have registered about 17.82% growth, and as a result, the business turnover has now reached 1,10,440 crores. And there, the deposits grew at a rate of 10.83%, and most significantly, the advances growth was at an impressive 28.54%. As a result, my terminal CD ratio, which was at 65.22%, it has also gone up to 75.65%. And along with that, we have been able to focus more on CASA. So as a result, our CASA is still hovering at around 28%. And most significantly, we could add a good number of CASA accounts during the last year. In fact, more than 1 million CASA accounts have been added during 1 year, and that was something like an historic achievement for Karnataka Bank, because in none of the previous years we could be able to add 1 million account. Here I see a lot of cross-selling and cross-selling opportunities for my retail products in the days to come. And going forward, as far as the business is concerned, since we had already grown at a rate of 17.82% in FY18, we have projected 18% plus growth of business turnover for FY19, with deposits growth of around 14% plus. That is what you have just mentioned, that is 72,000 crores. And the advances also, I am optimistic of around 20% plus growth to take it to a level of 58,000 crores. So all in all, from the existing 1,10,000 crores, we are aiming a reasonable figure of 1,30,000 crores. And of course, in the deposit, we will continue to focus more on CASA and the retail term deposit. As of now, I don't have much exposure to the bulk deposits which are accepted at above the card rate. So our retail growth in the deposits would continue. Simultaneously, in the advances, since I am aiming for 47,564 crores to 58,000 crores, that means about 10,000 crores plus. I am expecting this additional 10,000 crores, a reasonable amount from the corporates which are well rated. And also mid-corporates and the retail, we are thinking big. In the sense, we have just entered into our transformation journey with BCG. And there we have identified some of the retail areas like housing loan and MSME loans, wherein we have already started this concept of RLPC, Retail Loan Processing Centers. And on two centers on pilot basis, we have already installed this, and the success, depending on the success of these two centers, which I am again very optimistic about that, we will roll out that particular concept throughout India. Similarly, we are also focusing on MSME, so that should give us...
Mr. Mahabaleshwara, sir, there was, with pertaining to the MSME lending, so I just wanted to bring up that there have been some concerns with respect to asset quality in this particular sector, or rather this particular segment. So can you tell us a little more about how it's developing, and if are there any concerns, are there any challenges that you're facing, and if there are, how you're addressing them, sir?
It is not a concern of asset quality. In fact, the regulator has given certain dispensation to those MSME units which have already registered for the GST. And I think that type of a special dispensation for the MSME sector, that is the need of the hour considering their contribution. And what we are doing is, of course, with the CGTMSE coverage and with the adequate security coverage, the quality assets that we are taking. When I say that I have been aiming for about 18% plus growth, I am equally aware of the quality related issues, the quality things, parameters we have to keep intact. And that being the case, there are a lot of opportunities because my 800 branches, they are all situated not just in metro but also in the semi-urban and urban areas, even including the rural areas where there are abundant opportunities for the MSMEs. Another area where we are getting good business leads is from transfer of business from the existing banks who are under PCA. So they are not able to take care of even their good clients, and they are all looking for good banks like Karnataka Bank. And that is where I have been getting a lot of business leads from those banks, and that is a source of business for us. Keeping that in mind, we think that this credit growth of 20%, whatever that we have planned for FY19, would be sustainable, both from the point of view of terminal numbers as well as the quality.
Sir, just last question very quickly before we let you go. Last week you reported fraud of 86.5 crore in loans which were extended to Gitanjali groups because I guess the export bills were not realized. Just want to check the impact of that. Will it be reflected in the fourth quarter?
It will be reflected. It has to be. In fact, this particular group is with us since last 25 years. So since the persons behind the show are involved in other fraud, we too have treated it as a fraud. And there will be an impact of this on my Q4 result.
So was the exposure limited to 86.5 crore?
This was around 1% of the total banking industry exposure.
Okay, but do you have more exposure to Gitanjali Group?
No.
All right. Thank you, sir, so much for joining us today and taking us through your business prospects for FY19. Okay, that was the management of Karnataka Bank, but on to the chart of the day, and that's Nestle India, which has been gaining for the 5th day in a row. Today, an analyst are